My friends, history has shown us that strength is not merely in the size of armies or the thunder of weapons, but in the resolve of a people determined to stand tall, free, and dignified. Today, I speak not just of a machine of war, but of a symbol of national courage, innovation, and pride. The Arjun Tank, born from the heart of India, is not feared simply for its firepower, but for what it represents: a rising nation, confident in its destiny, unyielding in its sovereignty. Why does the world fear it? Not because of its might alone, but because it is Indian, and that truth is one many hesitate to admit. But we here today must speak what others dare not. Because truth is the first step toward justice. The Arjun Tank stands as a testament to India's commitment to indigenous development and self-reliance in defense technology. It is more than a battle machine. It is the embodiment of a vision that dares to dream beyond dependence on foreign powers. Developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization DRDO, the Arjun was not just created to fill a tactical need, but to showcase India's ability to rise through innovation and determination. For decades, India relied heavily on imported defense equipment. This dependence limited the country's strategic autonomy and often placed it at the mercy of global politics. The Arjun changed that narrative, crafted over years of persistent effort, overcoming technical challenges, bureaucratic hurdles, and international skepticism. The Arjun emerged as a symbol of India's unyielding will to carve its own path. Its creation was not simply a matter of assembling steel and systems. It involved nurturing local talent, building technical infrastructure, and instilling a culture of excellence in India's defense research community. Each part of the tank, from its advanced fire control system to its armor and mobility mechanisms, carries the fingerprint of Indian scientists and engineers. This achievement has boosted national confidence and sent a strong message to the world. India is no longer just a consumer of global defense technologies. It is a creator. The very existence of the Arjun represents a strategic shift. It demonstrates that India is capable of producing world-class weaponry tailored to its unique combat environments and strategic needs. It also inspires other sectors to follow the path of self-reliance. Young engineers, defense strategists, and policymakers now look to the Arjun not just as a military asset, but as a beacon of possibility in a global system where indigenous capability often defines geopolitical respect. The tank has sparked new conversations about atmanirbharbharat, India's movement toward self-sufficiency, and has laid the foundation for future breakthroughs in defense and beyond. At its core, the Arjun Tank is not just a triumph of technology, it is a declaration of sovereignty. In a world where influence often flows from military independence, India has taken a significant step toward controlling its own narrative. The field surrounding the Arjun lies not only in its capability, but in what it signals: a nation rising with confidence, crafting its own tools of defense, and refusing to be underestimated. The Arjun Tank showcases a level of technological sophistication that has surprised many observers around the world. Designed to meet the demanding needs of modern warfare, it integrates advanced systems that rival or even surpass many contemporary main battle tanks. From its firepower to its targeting precision, mobility, and survivability features, the Arjun represents a leap in India's defense engineering. One of the standout technologies is its computer-controlled fire control system, which enables the tank to engage targets with high accuracy while stationary or moving. This is a capability that places it on par with, and in some cases ahead of, many Western and Russian origin tanks. Its ability to hit targets with remarkable precision under varied battlefield conditions has made military analysts take notice. The Arjun also features a powerful 120 mm rifled gun, a feature that allows it to fire a variety of munitions including high explosive, armor-piercing, and anti-tank guided missiles. This flexibility in armament gives the Arjun the ability to adapt to different combat scenarios with effectiveness. In terms of protection, it incorporates advanced Kanchen composite armor, developed indigenously, that has proven capable of withstanding attacks from the latest anti-tank weapons. Inclusion of an automatic fire detection and suppression system, explosive reactive armor, and a battlefield management system further enhance its survivability and situational awareness. Mobility is another aspect where the Arjun defies outdated assumptions about Indian-made heavy armor. Despite its weight, the tank is equipped with a powerful 500 HP engine and hydropneumatic suspension system that gives it excellent cross-country mobility and crew comfort. It performs effectively in varied terrains, including deserts and rugged landscapes, making it suitable for deployment in India's diverse geographic conditions. These performance capabilities were validated during rigorous comparative trials against other tanks like the Russian T-90, where the Arjun held its ground, often outperforming its counterparts in key areas such as firepower, stability, and accuracy. The integration of these systems in a single platform signals not just technical competence, but a growing ecosystem of research, innovation, and industrial collaboration within India. It demonstrates the ability of Indian defense scientists and engineers to create solutions that are not only competitive on a global scale, but also tailored to India's unique strategic needs. The technological success of the Arjun tank has encouraged greater investment in defense R&D and has stimulated public and political interest in strengthening the domestic defense sector. What is most striking is how underestimated this achievement was by the global defense community. For a long time, the world did not expect India to field a tank of such advanced capability. The success of Arjun challenges that assumption. It represents a quiet revolution in India's technological journey, a shift from being a buyer to becoming a builder. The fear it inspires is not just due to its combat power, but the realization that India is fast catching up with the world's most sophisticated defense producers. And with that, a new chapter in global military balance begins to unfold in the evolving defense dynamics of South Asia. The Arjun tank offers India a significant strategic edge. It is not merely a tool of war, but a force multiplier that reshapes India's ground combat posture in a region marked by volatility, disputed borders, and long-standing tensions. With neighbors like Pakistan and China investing heavily in military modernization, the need for India to possess armored systems that can both deter and dominate has never been more urgent. The deployment of the Arjun tank in forward areas, especially in terrains like the western deserts and semi-urban battlefield zones, signals a bold assertion of India's intent to protect its sovereignty with indigenous might. One of the key strategic advantages of the Arjun is its adaptability to Indian terrain. Unlike many imported tanks, which are designed for flat, open plains of Europe or Central Asia, the Arjun was engineered with Indian conditions in mind. Its hydropneumatic suspension system allows for greater mobility and stability over rugged terrain, making it well suited for operational deployment in the Thar Desert and other complex environments along India's borders. This terrain-specific adaptability gives the Indian Army a decisive advantage in potential high-mobility engagements where speed, firepower, and endurance are critical. Furthermore, the presence of a domestically produced main battle tank enhances India's operational flexibility. In scenarios of prolonged conflict or border standoffs, reliance on foreign parts and supply chains can be a major vulnerability. The Arjun mitigates this risk by reducing dependency on external suppliers, thereby ensuring that India retains control over the maintenance, upgrades, and logistics of its armored fleet. This self-reliance becomes strategically invaluable during times of crisis, when international political pressures might delay or restrict access to foreign equipment or spare parts. The psychological dimension of deploying the Arjun cannot be underestimated either. For adversaries, the sight of an advanced indigenous tank on the battlefield sends a clear message. India is not only prepared, but prepared on its own terms. It signifies a shift in perception from viewing India as a reactive power to recognizing it as a proactive force with the capability to develop, deploy, and sustain complex defense systems. For allies, it reinforces trust in India's defense establishment and its commitment to modernizing its forces through self-reliant means. Another layer of strategic advantage lies in deterrence. When a nation possesses weaponry that is visibly capable, domestically maintained, and purpose-built for its geography, it increases the cost of aggression for any adversary. The Arjun's combat performance in comparative trials has proven its worth, and its deployment near sensitive borders acts as a powerful deterrent. It alters calculations in the minds of those who may otherwise underestimate India's conventional capabilities. In broader geopolitical terms, the Arjun also supports India's aspirations to be seen not just as a regional power, but as a global one. A strong, modern, and self-sufficient military forms the backbone of any nation's claim to strategic influence. By deploying a battle tank that is a product of its own intellect and industry, India demonstrates its maturity as a military, industrial power. The strategic edge provided by the Arjun tank, therefore, is not only about battlefield dominance, it is about redefining India's place in the strategic calculus of the region and beyond. Despite its advanced capabilities and battlefield performance, the Arjun tank has not received the international recognition it deserves, and this hesitance to acknowledge India's progress reflects a deeper discomfort within the global defense and political landscape. The reluctance to openly credit India's achievement stems from a combination of strategic denial, geopolitical rivalry, and outdated perceptions of India's technological capabilities. For decades, the global arms market and defense discourse have been dominated by a handful of powerful nations that are accustomed to setting narrative and controlling access to high-end military technology. The emergence of India as a credible, self-reliant defense producer disrupts this established order. The Arjun challenges a long-standing stereotype that India can only import, not innovate. While many nations openly laud India's growth in sectors like information technology or space exploration, there remains a subtle resistance when it comes to defense. This is because military capability is tied directly to strategic influence. When a country demonstrates the ability to design and manufacture its own main battle tank, it sends a signal that it is capable of independent decision-making and reduced reliance on foreign powers. For global arms suppliers, this shift threatens long-term business interests. A self-reliant India means fewer multi-billion-dollar contracts for foreign defense companies and less political leverage in times of crisis. Beyond economic interests, there is also a reluctance to accept that a developing nation can match or surpass Western and Russian technology in such a complex and demanding field. The Arjun tank's performance in comparative trials, where it stood equal to, and in many aspects outperformed, established tanks like the T-90, should have made headlines. Instead, it was met with skepticism or silence. This selective attention is not accidental. It reflects a bias that still lingers in how global powers perceive innovation from the global south. Acknowledging India's military advancement would mean accepting that the balance of power is shifting, not just economically, but militarily as well. There is also a geopolitical angle to the Reluctance. India occupies a unique position in the global order aligned historically, yet strategically critical today. Admitting the capabilities of India's indigenous weapons system would be tantamount to reinforcing its standing as a major military power, which has implications for regional and global influence. It would validate India's leadership in the Indo-Pacific, increase its credibility in defense partnerships, and strengthen its bargaining power in global forums. Some nations may find this rise inconvenient to their strategic calculus, especially those who see India as a competitor in arms manufacturing or regional dominance. Moreover, media and academic narratives around military technology are often shaped by Western think tanks and publications, many of which tend to focus on the capabilities of NATO, aligned or traditionally dominant nations. The Arjun Tank, being a product of Indian innovation, does not naturally find space in these discussions unless it is framed through a comparative or skeptical lens. As a result, the tank's achievements are either underreported or misrepresented, further fueling a global environment where India's military advancements are viewed with doubt rather than admiration. This global hesitation to openly fear or respect the Arjun Tank is not about the tank itself, it is about what the tank represents. It stands as a declaration that India is no longer content to be on the sidelines of global defense leadership. It asserts the country's ability to create, not just consume, to lead, not just follow. This quiet discomfort, masked as indifference, reveals more about the insecurities of the global establishment than any deficiency in the Arjun's capabilities. The Arjun Tank is more than just a war machine. It is a living emblem of India's national pride, technological maturity, and the spirit of self-determination. Its very existence speaks to decades of perseverance, innovation, and resilience. Every bolt, system, and feature of the tank is a result of India's own hands and minds, making it a true reflection of Indian identity and strength. In a country that has historically fought for its freedom, built itself from the ground up, and navigated a complex geopolitical environment, the Arjun stands tall as a manifestation of what can be achieved when a nation believes in its own potential. It is not merely a defense asset, it is a symbol that captures the essence of India's journey from dependence to empowerment. The development of the Arjun was never just about building a tank, it was about proving to the world, and to India itself, that the country could master technologies once considered beyond its reach. For decades, India's defense sector was seen as reliant on foreign support, with imported systems forming the backbone of its military. The Arjun changed that perception. Built indigenously with a combination of scientific rigor and national ambition, it shattered the myth that excellence in defense engineering was the sole domain of a few Western or Eastern powers. Its success resonates far beyond the battlefield. It inspires generations of young Indian scientists, engineers, and defense personnel to aim higher and dream bigger. This tank also serves as a rallying point for the broader Make in India and Atmanirbharbharat initiatives. In a globalized world where national security increasingly depends on the ability to be self-reliant in critical sectors, the Arjun serves as a milestone on India's path toward true independence, not just politically, but technologically and economically as well. The pride that comes with knowing that one's own country has produced a main battle tank capable of matching international standards is deeply empowering. It reinforces a sense of ownership, unity, and purpose among citizens and soldiers alike. For the Indian Armed Forces, operating a tank like the Arjun is a source of honor. Unlike imported platforms that come with restrictions, licensing issues, or foreign dependencies, the Arjun represents freedom. It can be upgraded, customized, and deployed according to India's strategic needs without outside interference. This flexibility strengthens operational readiness and cultivates a unique relationship between the machine and its operators. Soldiers are not just users, they are defenders of a symbol that was made by their own people for their own land. The symbolic value of the Arjun also extends internationally. As India showcases the tank at defense expos and joint military exercises, it makes a powerful statement to both allies and adversaries. India is no longer merely a participant in global defense dialogues. It is a contributor, an innovator, and a rising leader. The pride of the nation is embedded in the armor, forged in every component, and reflected in the confidence with which it is presented to the world. Its very presence alters the way India is perceived on the world stage, not just as a regional power, but as a nation with the capability and conviction to shape its own defense destiny. Through its journey from a blueprint to a battle-ready platform, the Arjun has become an icon of modern India. It reflects the country's spirit of transformation, its refusal to be defined by limitations, and its readiness to take on the challenges of a changing global order. It is not just a tank, it is a message to every Indian and to the world that this is a nation proud of its roots, certain of its path, and fearless in the pursuit of its future.